and we are also going to go ahead with Akshay, then Shubham, and who is there? Aniket. So Akshay, Aniket, Shubham. For these three guys who are in a very initial phase of LS Dyna, we will still go for their resume to be shared. And the reason is to get an exposure as fast as possible. Okay. So this video I will upload immediately because it needs to be watched by all of you who are appearing, not appearing, maybe appearing next time, or like in Vinita's case, if you are appearing for this TACO interview, uh, this is going to be a useful part for you. Okay. So the first important thing is preparing for an interview. So just give me a minute. So let me share my screen and you will easily understand what is up, how exactly it's going to go. Okay, so I'm trying to create a timeline map, mind map for the interview itself. So this is something which I'll not put it a date, but there will be an event here. Okay, so I'll call it as an interview timeline, or yeah. We have asked them one question, which is whether there will be a tool test. So they're not sure what is the tool test will happen if there is lower count. If there are too many people, we will not be doing a test on the same day. Maybe it will happen. So Riada's claim is. We do have a lot of our students going into Adiada as freshers or 1 year experienced guys, and as well as after a couple of years or 1 year, they're doing successful in their elsewhere career as well. Okay? So it's going to be a good exposure for you. Sudeep, who is heading CA department, is also a good person. He's a good mentor, so you can actually. Okay? So I'll just share this timeline. What is going to happen? So first is it's going to be introduction of yourself and maybe from company side. So we will call it as 3 minutes. It's a cool down period. This is something which you should be introducing yourself with regards to maybe generic from where you are and all these things, and at the same time education and be relevant. So and all these things you can talk about in introduction or general questions. So introduction, I'll say instead of this self-introduction, self-intro, and talk more about your family or what is it and when did you graduated. So they will be having a resume. That's not going to be an issue. They will have all the details because we have shared the same resume which you shared with us directly to Adiada. So we will have to have a similar kind of an understanding that whatever you are going to talk should be relevant to this applicable now then graduate or education and talk openly because this is something which is getting acclimated with the environment and making sure you're comfortable. Always easy even in sales interview or sales meeting, we keep on introducing ourselves or we talk about whether we just normalize the overall trend and then we actually talk the real matter in hand. Okay. So self-introduction is to cool yourself down. So don't take it the other way. You make sure that you are introducing yourself, you are talking about yourself, you are talking about education, you are talking about hobbies. And if you happen to have some kind of a discussion to be done, maybe, or a topic to be opened, you can open and non-specific, everyone taught. It's very hot, or it's very what you can say. It's very a good place, or the office is pleasant enough. Want to talk about that? You can do that. Okay, so that is self introduction, and then there is going to be an opening question from panel. Okay, so just one person, but because it is a walk-in drive, we are not sure. Okay. There may be college pass outs as well, and maybe there will be a crowd. Only somebody will call your name some or the other time. Okay? So that's something you should remember. This is the introduction part. Then there will be a core engineering, basic engineering part for sure. It's going to be your starting point. Okay. They will ask you about, they may ask you about hypermesh and tools and other bit, but that is going to come later in a later stage. Okay. So tool skills is going to be the next part, but core engineering is going to be an important part. There can be open questions, or uh, there can be one more thing, which is hand calculations. Okay? They may ask something. They may ask you that this is something which is happening. Can you calculate shear force and bending moment diagram, or draw something? So hand calculations is one part, drawing is another part, or explaining using figure is one more part. These things are always going to happen. So this is, guys, just a minute. No, that's okay. So the point is, you will have this core engineering evaluation stage where questions will be there, hand calculations will be there. Drawing some diagrams is also going to be an important part. Okay. As I said, SFD, BMD. So try and prepare for this. Focus on this basic engineering course which we have. You can have an open discussion. Those who are going to appear for an interview, they can use this Zoom meeting link. Anyone can use it, so you can have a group discussion as well. If you have any questions, you can ask those questions. You have your mobiles available with each one of you, mobile numbers you have on group itself, so you can exchange ideas. Dedicate next 2 days, so you only have 2 days anyway. So 24th and 25th, you dedicate your time to discussing more about core engineering, because I know we are covering tool type or tool skills in our daily question answer sessions. Okay, so this is something which core engineering, and this part you are supposed to focus for next 2 days. Fine. Then there will be tool skills. The tool skills will be a solver and preprocessor. All right. So we'll have tool skills, which is a solver, preprocessor, and maybe you can talk about LS prepost. Okay. I'll say LSPP reason. These guys heavily use LS prepost. Okay. So if you talk about LS prepost, this will be a good point for you. Okay. So if you talk about LS prepost, these guys will be happy, to be very frank. Okay. So you can just highlight it purposefully. So this is a skill. Of course, LS Dyna will be a skill which will be anyway highlighted for any of the fresher who is going to appear for an interview. And then there may be a tool test. Okay. So tool skills or tool test can be one and the same, or maybe they will ask you LS Dyna questions in interview itself. But there is going to be a tool test. Okay, if the number is smaller. So if there are only 20 people, maybe they will have a tool test. But I don't think there will be only 20 people. There will be more than that. So always remember, you are supposed to focus on core engineering, LS prepost, LS Dyna part more, and of course hypermesh part, but unfortunately they don't have hypermesh as a preprocessor. So good thing is they have ANSA as a preprocessor, but your tool test will happen on hypermesh. Okay, that's what they have clarified. So they are not going to give you a tool test on ANSA, that's for sure. And this tool test, as I said, it's going to be, there can be a meshing and model building tool test, or there can be only the meshing tool test. It all depends on what you have written in your resume. Okay, or it can be both. That is also possible. So model building or solving, they will ask you to do a drop test. They may ask you to do some kind of a post processing or give you a problem for crush can. That is something which is expected. Okay? That is something you can prepare for, which is easy for you because you have already worked on it. So nothing to be very much scared about it. It's simple task to be done. So you have interview timeline as introduction, core engineering, tool skills, and tool test. Okay, and the last part is going to be closing. You can ask about feedback immediately, but that's not always a good thing to do. You can ask more about the organization. So when it comes to closing, you can have organizational questions, okay? More of an organizational questions, and that will help you out. Okay? That will give you a good sense of what is it that they do. Do they have any kind of a tie up with any foreign agency? This is a foreign company, MNC, but they still have some tie-ups with some of the foreign companies. So you can ask that. You can ask about work timings, work location. Are you planning to change from this location to somewhere else? Anything like that, which is a non-specific thing, you can ask in the closing session. So this should be the timeline. This should be a quick round, which should be there. It should not be too lengthy for sure. That is what I'm expecting. And this is a typical fresher interview template which I have created for you. Okay? So try and stick to core engineering, basic engineering skills, drawing skills, SFD, PMD, to be very specific, because we all are working in structural analysis domain. So shear force, diameter, bending equations, real properties. If we have engineering skills on the lower side, there is going to be a trouble. Okay, so make sure that the revision you need is strength of materials and design. Nothing else. Once you revise these two subjects, the manufacturing and other subjects, you can just skip around right now. Numerical methods you can skip around. Just focus on strength of material and design. I think this will help you out. And this is the only thing which I wanted to share. Don't be under impression that because we have shared your resume in a separate, you will understand only if you perform well in an interview. Okay, not we are just facilitating you to get into the interview schedule. Nothing to do with the actual interview, but because we have a good reputation, they will always have a higher expectation going from ELENO. Okay, and one more thing I wanted to talk in this core engineering part is you should be relating basics of engineering to project. For example, I'll just give you a simple example. We did a drop test. Okay, we did a wheel impact. In wheel, we have to measure impactor to fall on wheel. This 230 millimeter, we never traveled, right? We actually converted that into kinetic energy equal to potential energy, and we found out an equation root to GH. So we had a direct terminal velocity. So you saved a lot of time there. You haven't calculated anything. And this is something which is relating basic engineering skills to the projects. Okay, so we did RUPD modifications. So some of you did a lot of RUPD modifications. So these RUPD modifications can be talked with regards to basics of engineering, with regards to section modulus, with regards to bending per. So this is something that with regards to project, they will ask you about projects. And projects is our strong point. Am I right? So we all have done a good amount of projects. The initial, whatever we have disclosed, those projects we have done in a real time basis. So you can divert them from this tool skills or to build that part. Then there's one step something which is and the size, who decides the size of the mesh. What is the quality criteria? So make sure you study quality criteria as well. What is the minimum size, maximum size, element sizes which we use? What is exactly the skew? What is definition of Jacobian? All these things, if you just study, I think in hypermesh tool test, or it's a good point or upper hand. Okay. Because remember, you are not fresher. You are fresher already have an exposure to a very fantastic tool like LS-DYNA. So it will be a good success if you try and divert them from core engineering to tool skills in a smooth manner. And this is possible. This is something which is a skill. So you have to divert them to the basic engineering, from basic engineering to tool skills. All right, guys, any questions, anything you have in your mind, just let me know and I can just talk you through. Okay, somebody's on chat. One second. I was not audible, guys. How it was?
Yes, sir, it was
Wow.
audible. Little
talking.
feeble, but
Hello?
no, sir. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you were audible actually, but a little some time it was like
so.
unstable.
If you oh, okay, but can you see my screen now? Is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible. The chart is there. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so chart is there. It just created in front of you, and you just have to look at this chart for understanding. You don't have to study this a lot. This is not for study anyway. Fine. So this is all I wanted to share today because you guys should be prepared. It's a large chunk. So almost 7 of you are there plus 3 we are trying to process. So 10 of you will be attending one place, one interview. So be prepared for something which is a challenge, something which is a rewarding challenge. Okay? So you will be having a good reward. And as I said, they have a good set of ethics policies. It's an MNC. They are growing continuously, and at the same time the company is. And also one more thing which I left is study about the organization. Okay. And it's very easy from internet, it's very easy from any of the website or social media site or LinkedIn, and just study about the organization. What is it they do, from where they started, what is the foundation here, typical know-how you should have. Nobody is going to ask you questions about it, but you will get an idea of what type of organization it is, and that is going to give you even better edge over the competition. Yes, so Nikhil, Aniket, Akshay, and this guy Shubham, we are going to share your resume. We have I don't know whether you have shared your resume or not, but for others we have already shared your resume. I have a confirmation address. I don't know whether you have the address or not, but it is nearby railway station, Pune railway station. So you can go by metro, and you can get down at Pune railway station, metro station, and you can actually walk for 5 minutes and you will be in a company. Okay? It's very easy. So that is one thing. If you want more information, I think Deepashri is your point of contact. You can ask her on message or on phone, and she will just guide you. We will be putting an email discussing about, or not discussing, disclosing the address and the person responsible. So I think their HR person's name and phone number we will just share with you. Be on time. I think the time. What's the time they have mentioned in post? It was 9 o'clock, right, or 10 o'clock. They haven't mentioned time, right?
9:30 they have mentioned, sir, in the advertise.
9:30 they have booked. Okay. So be on time. Go there. You make sure that you are sitting there. They will arrange for lunch and other bit. I think it will be there if it stretches longer. And you be prepared. And I think that's all. I'm pretty confident that all of you are eligible and at the same time capable of cracking the interview. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to happen. This will be company payroll, nobody in between. You will have good name, MNC name, and a good exposure to the pre-processor, solver, post-processor, and a product part. So I think we'll be in a good state. All right. So any questions? If you have, you can ask. If the connection is unstable, we can chat on WhatsApp. I came down to hotel running from the metro station. I'm in Delhi right now. So if you have anything which is popping in your mind, just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Also scheduled, right? So Nikhil is there. Prithviraj is there, and I think who else is there? Aishwarya is there, right? Your resume, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct. That's good.
Hello, sir. So will
Yes,
there directly
Prithviraj,
be
go ahead.
interview round, or they
Yeah.
will take any screening test like aptitude or group discussion and all, like these typical rounds will be there?
I don't think so. I don't think. No. They plan like that. It will be a personal interview directly. So typically for walk-ins, they will not do it like that. It will be a tremendous task for them. They will either do a scrutiny at the initial stage, any aptitude. I haven't heard any aptitude test conducted by IDIADA till date.
Okay, sir.
Okay, good. So see you then, guys. You have access to Zoom call or Zoom meeting enough to join or ask questions amongst yourself. Arrange Zoom meeting active and have a discussion. Talk about the basic engineering stuff, and maybe a group study will help you out. Okay. Fine. See you then. Bye.